Hey, listen, real estate agents, I know that Zillow has changed what they said their intent was going to be with you. Like your Zillow reviews, those things are gone right now, aren't they? Well, if you want to fight back against Zillow for taking everything that you have had, we are here to help you. And all you have to do is fill out this form down below. And trust me, we are here to help you, and we have been the Zillow Busters for the past 10 years. So Realtors, fill this out down below. We're gonna get in touch with you, and we're gonna fight back against these guys. Now on with the show. Quote, the focus will be on student loans and payday lending. The major work on mortgage lending was done in the first 8 years of the Bureau. Progressive groups and consumer advocates have also called on the CFPB to revisit rules softened by the Trump administration, such as a crackdown on payday lending, who charge high interest rates on short-term loans, and to revive work on a rule to rein in overdraft fees on checking accounts that was set aside during the Trump administration. So says Dave Stevens in an interview with Frank Ray that I think was on the show last week. Well, it turns out Dave Stevens was right. Biden nominated Rohit Chopra, I hope I pronounced his name right, to run the CFPB. Now, Chopra's resume includes assistant director of the CFPB, okay, where he was the Bureau's top student loan watchdog. In 2011, he was made the student loan ombudsman, which was a new position established in the financial reform law, and a special advisor to the Department of Education. So, I think it sure looks like the Bureau is going to go after something that looks like student loans. But I gotta say, when you go to school, as I did, and you take out your student loans, you know what you're getting into. I mean, I certainly did. I got student loans and I paid them off. Here's the thought, why don't you make a bunch of these schools live off the massive multi-billion-dollar endowments and drop the price of college, so we don't need to take out student loans in the first place that now have to be forgiven. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. If we forgive student loans on a federal level, isn't that just another way of taxpayers financing these colleges? Seriously, UCLA right now as we sit here is sitting on $5.39 billion. NYU, $4.3 billion. Stanford, $27.7 billion. Harvard, $41.9 billion. The University of freaking Illinois, $2.35 billion. The University of Texas, $30.1 billion. You get the idea. Make these schools drop their tuition, then no student is going to have any loans that need to be forgiven in the first place. Anyways, we digressed on the student loan stuff. Here's what you need to know. The future of the CFPB is not going to be focused on the mortgage space. However, they're just not going to go away, because when you do something wrong and your competition turns you in, it's now going to get investigated where it probably hasn't for the past 4 years. So there's no cheating. You hear me, guys? So the outgoing administration through Steve Mnuchin and the FHFA just the other day laid the groundwork for Fannie and Freddie to exit conservatorship. Number one, they both have to raise a whole bunch of money. By one estimation, if they keep all their earnings that they're making right now and we push that forward, they should raise enough capital to be free in the next 11 years. And I'm not joking. Then, presumably, in year 11, the capital reserve end date, the GSEs will resume quarterly dividend payments to the Treasury. The dividend amount at that time will be equal to the lesser of 10% of the liquidation preference of the Treasury's senior preferred stock, or the incremental increase in the GSE's net worth in the prior quarter. Number two, the GSEs must also be free of all major litigation. See, right now, they have major litigation against them. It's from all the folks who own that common stock. Now, upon entering conservatorship, the Treasury created preferred stock in the GSEs. And now the Treasury owns 80% of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which thus made the investors' common stock pretty much worthless. Now, those folks who have that common stock, who've owned it for a ton of years, are now pretty pissed off, and they're suing Fannie and Freddie and the FHFA. Number three, they need to issue more useless common stock to raise $70 billion each, which is pretty interesting because Fannie and Freddie's portfolio are drastically different. You'd think the stock issuance would reflect the portfolios of either of the two GSEs. And lastly, the Treasury will work with the FHFA to figure out the rest of the stuff at a later date. Now, here's my question. Why did the Treasury drop this bomb on the FHFA days before they were out of office. Seriously, why did they do this? It's not going to go anywhere. The new administration and the Secretary of the Treasury are going to look at the state of the GSEs in a completely different light than the Trump administration. So here's my question, why? Now you might say it's the principle of the matter, Brian, or you can say that the outgoing administration just wanted to muddy the waters for the new Treasury to give them a problem, a knot to untie as a farewell kind of F you on the way out the door. Now here's a spoiler alert. Fannie and Freddie, they're not going to leave conservatorship. They're not going to leave conservatorship. They are going to become an agency wholly inside the federal government. If you don't believe me, you just watch. Hey, listen, if you're watching this for the first time, do me a favor and subscribe. If you like what we're talking about, hit the share button on Facebook. But of course, if you want to see us on a daily basis, free of charge, all you have to do is this.
Download the National Real Estate Post mobile app today. Available on Apple Store and Google Play. Just search National Real Estate Post.